So guys, some days you just want to be the villain. Today is the day I want to be a villain. So, pretty basic concept here. We have Rivalry of Warlords, and we also have Ceruli, Guru of the Dark World. So what we're going to basically be doing here is we're going to force our opponent to be unable to play because of Ceruli. And you might be thinking like, but what if they crash? They won't. I'll have Grapha Dragonlord in defense position, and then I'll flip Rivalry as well. And as long as I don't summon Nightmare Phoenix or Nightmare Cerberus, I won't have any in attack position Fiend monsters, for example. That's a line of play we have here. Pretty asshole move, honestly. And in fact, we might change one of these monsters out for something else, like F.A. Dawn Dragster, maybe if we're running Distrudo. But it does not matter that much. So the important thing to know here is that we actually also have Dark World Dealing and Drag Down into the Grave as well. This is to, for example, most people actually only run one Duster, so we're going to force them to probably draw into their Duster, either by Max C, which we will probably force into the hand with all our Dark World Dealings and Drag Down into the Graves. And once they do have them, we'll simply drag down into the grave and force them to discard the Duster. Well, this is a bit jank, and not at all 100% consistent, but it's a pretty evil deck. So with Danger Dark World, we have the ability to go through a lot of cards in our deck. It's a little bit RNG, and we do need semi-good hits as well from our danger cards. But once we get that done, we can go off pretty hard. Like so. We will do this now. Unfortunate. Happens. We'll send Chupacabra. Ranger Tsuchinoko. Shittle Beast. Shittle Beast effect. Draw again. Dark World Dealings. We'll discard this one. Allure. We'll banish this one. Drag down into the grave. We'll look at their hand. We'll discard their only monster. They have no play. We draw again. Dark Reaper. And now we have this combo. Major Nessie, Dark Reaper. Don't have Rivalry or Ceruli here, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Now we'll add Jackalope to our hand. And now we can use the effect of Dark Reaper to send a monster, which we will choose Grapha. And then we'll special summon Chupacabra. I want to get them out of my deck. And then we'll use Dugaris' effect to draw 2, discard 1. We'll skip our next draw phase, but whatever. Discarding Silva. And then we'll special summon Grapha here, and then Silva will go back to our hand. And then we use Allure of Darkness. Allure will have to banish Silva. Then we have Beginning of the End effect, and we have quite a few targets for it. We'll target this, and this. We drew a few cards. Nice. And now we have Ceruli and card destruction as well with Drake Down into the Grave. Pretty swell. Speaking of which, Kaukimeru Doom has the effect to negate the effects of light and dark monsters that activate during the main phase. So this would stop, for example, Nibiru or any monster for that matter, like even the dangers, which can be pretty brutal depending on what your opponent is playing, I guess. Here we'll go, let's see. We have options, so let's go Saryuja. See if we can fix our hand up a bit. Returning this. We'll return this as well. And we will return Drag Down into the Grave for now. Alright. Looking good. We don't really need Kaukimeru Doom here, but whatever. Card Destruction. And now these are all mandatory, so we have to activate all of these effects. So we'll have to discard 2 as well. Well, that's fine. Ceruli. Ceruli. And now Ceruli effect activates. Also mandatory. So we'll discard Snow. And then we'll discard Tsuchinoko. Because we've already used Jackalope effect. Now we can special summon a monster. We will take their... I suppose we take that Labradorite. That is a special summon, correct? Okay. So now we have to just add, well, we can just add whatever card, really. We'll add Dark World Dealings, I guess. And then we special summon Labradorite. Alright. Special summon Grappa. Grappa in defense position here. And then we can, if we want, we can go extend further a bit. But we don't really need to. Let's see. Alright, we still have Hulk. So, we also have our normal summon still. So what we're going to do here is we're going to special summon Silva. We're going to make Hulk, I guess. Hulk effect. We'll just summon Jet. And then here we can once again special summon Rafa. And then we will do something kind of goofy here. We're going to make Firewall Dragon, actually. I might have placed this in the wrong zone. That might fuck me later. Alright. Dark World Dealings effect again. Discard this. Silva. I guess this will be fine. And most of our deck is actually in the graveyard now. And we still have some plays left over. But not really important here. So now what we're going to do is in standby we're going to flip Rivalry. And then we declare Fiend. So normally the play you want to build up to isn't really this, but what you want to do is if you don't want to be a stalling Andy and wait for deck out like this, you can instead, if you send Zephyros before this point, you can Zephyros, return Rivalry, and try to game your opponent, and if it fails, you can just set Rivalry back on the field, and your opponent will have no play. But otherwise, this is what the game state can devolve into, and your opponent will be completely unable to play like this. There's literally nothing that can be done here. They can't crash. They can only set monsters like this. But this is kind of just annoying for both parties involved, honestly. I guess do it at your own risk. Oh, I forgot I can't even summon. Yeah, so with Rivalry, I can't use my danger effects to do anything aside from discard my own cards. But, yeah. Funnily enough, even if your opponent's monster wouldn't be destroyed, they will still get sent by Rivalry. And this is kind of what the game state devolves into. This isn't necessarily the best strategy, but it is certainly an annoying one. If you really feel extra spicy, you can put in the Sky Scourge cards as well. Because the Sky Scourge cards have something particularly funny about them. The Sky Scourge cards, they actually have a Fiend, I believe it was, that negates spell effects, so it's basically like an IO, but imagine, well, it's a main deck monster as well, so imagine the situation, but you have IO, basically, so your opponent has no actual play to be made. And it's kind of interesting that I can just look into my opponent's hand, see what they have. That's also pretty interesting. Depends on the list a bit, but there are certainly some lists you can mess around with the Dark World Dealings and the Drag Down into the Grave. I'm still locked as well. And the Black Garden here is mostly to help out with decking out people if they run Maxi. Because every summon I make after a Black Garden is basically 2 specials, meaning they draw 2 cards. And I'm pretty confident, unless they have like a droll, that I can probably deck them out. Because I did summon like nearly my whole deck anyways. Alright. Now we can add Gruffa. Why not? Alright. And yeah. This guy does not want to lose. Oh, damn. Yeah, so this is kind of the energy that happens when you actually get this board out on a human opponent anyways, so yeah. The only issue about this strategy is if your opponent is actually playing a Fiend deck, like they're playing DD for example, then you're the one that gets fucked, because we aren't playing pure Fiends here. We're just playing for the Ceruli rivalry lock here, in hopes to stop our opponent from being able to play. Which we'll probably be able to achieve, honestly. But this deck is closer to casual tier. It's kind of a bit of a meme deck, but you know, it's honestly not the worst thing in the world, but it certainly isn't the best either. But I'd say it certainly is evil. So I'll see you guys in the next video.